All right, everyone. Once again, my name is Kirk Bighaus, and I am the account manager for McColly at MoxiWorks. And I'm really excited to have you all back here for the second part of our Engage training. My colleague Cristin Gray is on the call as well, and she's going to assist me with a Q&A at the end of the session. You will notice that all of you are currently muted, so I ask as we go through the presentation, if you do see anything that you have a question on, or if you have a question that pops up, type it into that chat box below where Monica and everyone is talking right now. That would be wonderful, and we'll get to your questions as soon as we can. Towards the end of the presentation, we've left a good amount of time for some questions for both the session that we're going through today, as well as everything that you guys went through last week as well, because I know you've been in the platform a little bit, so I'm excited to hear how everything's going. Today we're going to be going through a couple different sections of Moxie Engage. The first is going to be the great touch points that we offer, everything from our neighborhood news, our listing announcements, to our campaigns feature, which I'm really excited to share something about. The campaigns is my favorite tool in the Engage platform. It's amazing, so I'm excited to show you that. And then also we'll go through the goals module and just kind of look through some of the different things that can be shown there. So I've got my screen being shown right now. I just want to make sure everyone can see my screen correct. If you guys want to just chat in and let me know really quick that you can see it, it should just be the McColly dashboard. Perfect. Thank you, Julia. So yeah, this is what you guys have seen in our previous. This is the dashboard. What we're going to start with today is just our touch points. And this is going to be both our neighborhood news and our listing announcements. And to navigate to that, we're going to start by getting to a contact. So I'm just going to click through here into the sales flow and click on one of these contact cards. So we have our contact here, Cheney Prince. So let's go ahead and dive in here. So all of our great touch points, including neighborhood news and listing announcements, those main two, are going to live in our subscriptions box. And when you're looking at this contact card, you'll see a button down here at the bottom left that says subscriptions. So this is where you're going to want to navigate to ever subscribe someone to both neighborhood news or the listing announcements. So let's go ahead and click on that here. And this is going to pull up both of our current subscriptions. It's extremely easy to add a contact to a subscription. You can see we have these nice big add subscription boxes. So if you guys are following along during this presentation, let me know if I'm going too quick either. I can slow it down as well. We've got a full hour today. So if you hit this add subscription box, it's going to pull up the tool to get someone subscribed to neighborhood news. And you can see here, all we need to get somebody subscribed is that's actually a great question, Julia. So in order to navigate to the Engage platform, if you guys are part of the beta and testers group or in the trainers, it's just engage.mccolly.net. So. And if you have issues with that, we'll more than happy to get you guys in the platform afterwards. Monica will be happy to help you out with that. So don't fret too much if you're not able to get in. So you can see here, all you need for a subscription to Neighborhood News is an email and a zip code. So everything in Neighborhood News is going to be based off of a zip code. So you can see here, we've got this client subscribed to the 98227 zip code, but it's really easy to change these to whatever zip code you would like. So you can type it in, switch it up, and you'll actually have a little preview tab here. So if you click on preview, it'll pull up the neighborhood news that you are going to be sending out to them. So you can see here, since it is not a zip code that I have for my MLS, it doesn't pull any information, but you can see exactly what you're going to get when you put in that zip code. So let me see here, actually. I'll put in one. We'll say 98126 since I have information for that one. Perfect. Well, looks like we don't have anything for that one either. But so you can see kind of here what the neighborhood news widget is going to look like. So you can see active, solds, and both for 30, 60, and 90 days. As you scroll down, we have some great trends information as well. We have some market information as well as a mortgage calculator. So it's a really great tool, extremely interactive. So when you are sending this out to clients, they're able to both customize the zip code if they would like, as well as see all of the high-level trends information. And what we like to say for neighborhood news is that it's really just a conversation starter. We want this to kind of just be that high-level information, something that is going to be a touch point that they receive every month that will keep the agent top of mind with the client. And that's what is extremely important with neighborhood news, is just staying top of mind. There's also this button up here at the top that's Ask a Question. This is an extremely important part of neighborhood news, because if they pop open that Ask a Question button, it will go directly to the agent. So this is a great spot for them to, engage with the agent and see, hey, I noticed this about this given area, or this zip code seems interesting. Could you tell me more? It's just a great way for the client to interact with the agent easily without having to, dial the phone or do any effort there. It's just an easy little click. So we'll go ahead and, actually, let's go ahead and add this one too, and I can show you what it'll look like. So we'll hit done. And now this person has been subscribed to that zip code, and you can see active subscriptions here. You can see the zip code, as well as you can preview, edit, you can send it now, or you can remove them if they ever ask to be unsubscribed. It's really easy to remove someone from the neighborhood news subscription as well. And anytime someone is going to be subscribed to neighborhood news, it'll actually fall under their activity section as well. So under this activity area, you can see here, oh, agent subscribe contact to neighborhood news. And you can say, oh, I subscribed them to 98227. It shows up in that activity, so you can track anytime something occurs with the neighborhood news function. Perfect. So we'll go back in here. Cristin was actually kind enough to show me a zip that falls under yours. I forgot I was in your account. So let's go ahead and pull this up so you can see what kind of content's in here. Perfect. So we can see here, we got some great addresses here, some trends data. You can see the market sold, market active information. So it's just really easy information to pull into neighborhood news. Perfect. And you can also see a sample here as well. So if a client wants, or if an agent wants to check out what's going on with both of these, you can click on View Sample, and it'll pull up this information as well.
Yeah, and also one of the great things about neighborhood news is that anytime your client receives this newsletter and they want to see more information about the property, they'll actually be taken to your new agent website. And so right now, since we don't have those agent websites up, you'll have a landing page that they're taken to. But once those are up and running, you'll be, your clients will go to your agent website and they can do more searches right from there. So really great way to drive some traffic to your websites.
That's a great point. Thank you, Cristin. I appreciate that. Yeah, and everything in the neighborhood news is interactive as well. So if they click on any of these links, they'll get those pictures, they'll get all the great information, and then, like she said, it will be directed to your website. So that is great as well. There are also some great bulk subscription options. So I like to use the example of if perhaps you had an event over the weekend and you met, several new people in, you added them into your Engage, and you wanted to subscribe them all to neighborhood news. It is extremely easy to subscribe multiple people to our subscriptions as well. So for that, I'm actually going to go back to our people section. So this is where your people live, and you can see we have this select all button here, and this is going to be where you can do any bulk subscriptions to neighborhood news or listing announcements. So if you hit select all, you can see I've selected all 15 people, and we have this button up here in the top right that says subscribe. So if we select that, you can see we can subscribe both to neighborhood news and listing announcements. So an awesome little tool there to subscribe multiple people to a newsletter. And when you click on that, you have the option of doing either everybody to their own individual zip code if you wanted to do that, or if you would prefer that all clients are going to be subscribed to the same zip code, you have this ability up here where it says want to use the same zip code for everyone. You just go ahead and click that there, and you can enter in a given zip code for all of the same clients and hit set, and you can see all of those clients will have the same zip code. So extremely easy if maybe you have a neighborhood specialty for an agent, or they want to focus on maybe a more luxury area. You can put in that zip code here and they'll all receive the same neighborhood news newsletter every month. So really easy to get those all in there. Perfect. Cristin, did you have anything to add there for neighborhood news and listing announcements?
No, but that's definitely, neighborhood news is definitely one of our favorite things here at MoxiWorks, especially when you add the same zip code for all of your people, because what happens when you do that is that if a client decides, hey, no, I want to change the zip code, I actually want to look in this area, they'll either contact you or they can change the newsletter themselves, and there'll be a little marker in their activity section, their profile card, that says they've updated their zip code for neighborhood news. So it's a great way to see what's going on in your customers' lives, and also opens up that door for conversation. So awesome tool.
Really awesome tool. Yeah, it's definitely one of the best ways to, exactly, stay top of mind with those clients. And it's just, there's so many opportunities for interaction with them. Yeah, if you see them change the zip code, you can reach out to them. If you see them unsubscribe, I know Cristin showed last week, there's a setting in the preferences where you can actually get a notification anytime someone unsubscribes. So this will be a great way for you. Maybe if a client unsubscribes from neighborhood news, you could reach out to them and check and see maybe if they've moved, or if something has gone on, and you can just check in with them. That's actually a good question. I saw a question come through about having multiple people or multiple neighborhood news subscriptions on a single contact, and yes, you can do that. So you can go back in here to Chani Prince and open up her subscription. So you can see here, I already have one active subscription for a given zip code, but if I wanted to add a different zip code in here and hit done, you can now see that she has multiple zip codes active in a given neighborhood news subscription. And like Cristin mentioned, that the client can actually go in and change these as well. So, maybe if they didn't want to have multiple emails coming through every month, they can change the zip code to just get one, but you do have the ability to send them multiple zip codes. If maybe there's a buyer looking at different areas, you have the ability to set up those subscriptions as well. Perfect. So the next thing I wanted to go through was our campaigns section, and this is an amazing tool that we actually just released earlier this year, and I've seen some brokerages and agents come up with some amazing content with our campaigns. So I'm really excited to get in here and show you what campaigns looks like. So you can see here at the top we have this campaigns button. So what we're going to do is jump in here. And this is going to be the dashboard of your campaign. So right now we have all of your active campaigns currently running. So right now we have the holiday greetings super fun puppy version that is active, which is our #1 campaign. It seems like everyone loves this one. But what a campaign is at its simplest form is just a drip email that's going to be sent out based on a trigger. And those triggers can be either a date-based, so you can choose to set it off of a given date. So that would be like this holiday greetings one. So if I click into it, you can see here that there's a given date for each of these different emails that are going to be going out. So we have the Valentine's Day one going out on February 13th, March 17th. So these are going to be a date-based trigger. We also have a sequential trigger, and what that is, it's going to be based off of an event. So let me go ahead and show you some of our sequential events. So like, for example, we have a recently closed buyer. So if we click into this one, this is one of our campaigns we offer. You can see down here at the bottom right, we have a trigger. So anytime a buyer transaction closes, that would kick off this campaign. And with a sequential campaign, it's going to be sent as a series. So basically that means it's after the transaction closes, they'll receive a thank you 2 days after the start. And then 7 days after the campaign has been triggered, they'll receive a referral request. And then 14 days, a testimonial. So it'll just automatically send out these emails, whereas the agent will not have to do a single thing. Anytime that a buyer transaction closes, they will start to receive these emails 2 days afterwards, and some of them even start automatically. So this sequential is a great way to kind of just have that nice, easy setup. So you can see here we've started this recently closed buyer. You have a couple different options here in terms of what you can do from this screen. You can view the emails, so you can view each individual email that's going to be sent out. So if you click into this, you can see exactly what email is going to be sent directly from the agent. You can also add people to the campaign. So if maybe instead of just doing it off of the campaign, you also wanted to add some people, you can easily add both groups. So you can type in a group here and add those people directly to the campaign, or you can do it off of individual people. So you can search for a name and add those people individually to a given campaign. And then you can see here we have a couple different buttons here. So download and launch, we've actually renamed these buttons for an upcoming release. So when you guys get into Engage, you might see some of these, you will see some of these naming cultures change. So download and launch, basically what that means is it means to start the campaign. So this one will be renamed to Run Now. So basically when you hit this button, download and launch, or run now, it'll start the campaign, and then that one will be running immediately. And then download is going to basically just add it to your library. So when you hit download, what that means is you can add it to your library and be able to edit that campaign without having to worry about those emails being sent out. So for the sake of this one, let's just hit download, and I can show you what that looks like. So we'll go back to the campaign section. You can see we have this one campaign running right now. It is active, but now we have added a new campaign to our inactive section. So this naming culture is going to be renamed as well. So active is going to be any campaigns that will be running, whereas an inactive campaign will be any campaigns that has stopped. And then draft will be a new section added, and that'll be when an agent downloads a campaign but doesn't run it, it'll live in the draft. So you can see here we have all these drafts, so these will actually fall into their own folder when we update that naming culture there. So you can see here we have this recently closed buyer campaign, and we have the ability to go in and edit it. So you can edit the exact setup, so you can edit which touch points you want them to go out. You can change some things there. You can also preview, so you can change the title, the description, as well as preview all of the message, and then save. It's extremely easy. So let's say you've gotten your campaign all good to go, you're ready to set everything up, you know exactly who you're sending it to, and you want to just hit Start Campaign. When you hit Start Campaign, that will actually start the campaign, as fun as that makes sense. So this one will start being sent out to people. There's a lot of great information that you can gather from our campaign. So you can see here we have both an open rate and an unsubscribe. So you have the ability to see what the open rate percentage is for your emails that you sent out, as well as who has unsubscribed. So it's a great way to be able to dive in a little bit deeper and see just how each individual email is doing. Under this People tab, if you click on that, that'll actually show you what people this email is getting sent out to or has been sent out to. Over on the right-hand side, you have the unsubscribed as well. So if you wanted to click in and see who has unsubscribed, you could do that as well. So those are just some great little information that you can gather from these emails. One of the campaigns that I really wanted to show you guys was actually a newsletter campaign. This is something that I know is going to be big for McColly Agents, and something that actually me and Monica and Cristin have been working on to make sure that we have ready to go for when you guys get started. So I actually want to go in here to our inactives because I was actually working on it a little bit earlier. But you can see here McColly newsletter. And this is where I'm going to show you how easy it is to actually edit these templates in a given fashion. So we have this McColly newsletter campaign that's in our drafts. It's not quite ready to go. And you can see here we have our newsletter template scheduled for August 24th. So we'll go ahead and actually, sorry, I want to go back this other way. we want to go to manage templates. My apologies. So manage templates, this is where you're going to be able to actually go in and edit the given emails from within a campaign. So you can see here that under holiday greetings, we have multiple different emails that will be going out. So we have, the Valentine's Day email, we have the St. Patrick's Day email, the tax season email. So all of these are going to be individual templates within a campaign. So when we go into manage templates, that's where you're going to be able to actually manage the individual emails from in a given campaign. So you can see all of the different emails that we have in here. And I'm going to go down, scroll a little bit further to the newsletter one right here. So newsletter template, and I'm going to hit edit. So this is what I wanted to show you, just to show how easy it is to get in and be able to edit your templates. So you can see here we have edit email template. You can change the title, you can change the description, subject line, and there's a button right here that says launch email builder. So this is where you can actually come in and customize each of these templates. So let's say you wanted to run a monthly newsletter for your clients and you wanted to be able to edit these for every given month. So you could come in here, change up the images extremely easy. So you can swap out these images, you can swap out text, you can put in links for different articles, you can have some great general news, you can also put in some featured properties. It's extremely easy to just come in here and be able to swap things in and out. I really, when you guys do get in here and play around with campaigns, come into this little campaign builder and play around and take some maybe a new section and bring it over, and you can add in listings widgets. This is a great little tool where it actually will link directly to an MLS number. So actually 92343, I actually brought one in, so I just wanted to show you just how awesome this little widget is. So you can bring in a listing widget and have it linked directly to your agent website, your brokerage website, or even a custom URL if you maybe wanted to link it to a contact form or something like that. So you can hit done and you can see, look at that, you have a nice beautiful listing widget now in your newsletter. So maybe if you wanted to highlight a specific property for a given newsletter, you could do that easily. So a lot of great tools in here with the individual templates with each email. So if we hit done here, let's say this template is ready to go. We can hit save, and let's say this one is now our September template. So we can save that, and you can see now we've got our new newsletter template September. So if you wanted to add this email template to a new campaign, you could do that. It's extremely easy to use, and we look forward to building these out for agents so they can be able to make some custom newsletters and great content. So that is our campaigns side of things. Cristin, did you by chance have anything that you might want to add from the campaigns feature?
Yeah, definitely, actually. So if we go back to the campaigns dashboard, I'd love to show them a running date-based campaign. Okay. So if we open the Happy Greeting, the super fun puppy version, let's go ahead and preview one of those as well. They're always really fun.
They are fun. They got some great little images here.
Yeah, so super cute puppies on each one of these holiday cards. But if we go back to the actual campaign, from there we can actually edit the schedule of an actively running date-based campaign. And so if I wanted to add another touch point here, I could just scroll down to the bottom and add a second touch point and say, I don't know, the day after New Year's or whatever, and have another template added just to welcome everybody into the new year, and add that to my currently running campaign without having to stop it or create a new one. So super easy functionality for you to use to continue to build off.
Yeah, and this is actually, that's a great point for Cristin to bring up, because this is a great format for a given, like a newsletter template, because you can have, these monthly newsletters scheduled out and ready to go all year, so that an agent doesn't have to worry about creating content each given month. They can have it ready, built out, and it can be sent out for them. So it's extremely easy to navigate around, and a great way to keep yourself top of mind with those clients.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Anything else we wanted to chat about, Kirk, today before we head into some of those Q&As?
You know, let me jump into the goals section really quick. I'll
Oh,
just do a
yeah.
little high-level overview. Yeah, we'll be quick. It's my
Forgot
favorite
about goals.
section. I know. I'm one of the few that I like being able to
No, this is
see.
it's a great section.
Yeah. I'll jump into this here so we can see, oh, this is actually nice. It's doing a little overview for me. So you can see right here at the top, front and center, your agents are going to see their GCI goal. And this is something that they're going to enter early on in their process. When they first get into Engage, they'll enter a GCI goal. And under this goals module, it'll be right there in the front of their screen, letting them know how they're pacing. So you can see I'm 42% of my way to my GCI goal. If I hit this little dollar sign, it'll pull up my actual GCI goal in dollar amount. So you can see you can get 175K as my goal. You can see all the transactions I've closed, average size, as well as my close rate. Here in the bottom, we have just a couple different categories. You can see we break it down based off of the sales flow. So you can see we have some closed transactions. These are ones that I've already closed and won, and this is actually going to be directly connected to your MLS. So if you have closed any transactions or your agents have closed any transactions in the given year, these will automatically update so you can see those reflect in your goals. There's also a section for active and pending. So this would be that sales flow process. So you can see how your deals are doing in the active and pending sections of your sales flow and keep you progressing towards those closed transactions. Prospects, once again, will show you exactly what deals are in your prospect section of your sales flow. You can see it broken down by buyers and sellers, as well as the average time that a given transaction has been in the prospect section. And then we also have a GCI forecast section. So this is actually going to take into account how you work as an agent. So it'll take into effect, how many people are in your sales flow, how long does it take to move someone through your sales flow. And basically it comes back to what your year would look like if you had continued on this trajectory. And then finally, it's just a nice little crystal ball is what I like to call it. Finally, we have our comparable average. And this is a great one for those who are pretty competitive out there, and being an agent, they're all competitive. Everyone's competitive in the real estate market. So we are able to see how we compare given to both our office as well as our MLS. So just a great way to see how you stack up against everybody else. A nice way to come back and look at it. And you can see over here on the right, we also have some details about the transactions that we have closed over a given year. So just some great functionality here in the goals section. I really enjoy coming in here because you're able to just see how you're tracking for the year. And I think that's important for agents, just to stay top of mind with their goals and see what they need to do to hit that goal and be able to take that big trip at the end of the year, or do something fun with all those commissions. So that is our goals functionality. Also went through the campaigns and our touch points. So just kind of the later side of our Engage platform, but I'd love to open it up to some questions here. I know I've seen some come through in the chat box, but yeah, if you guys have any other questions about the campaigns and goals sections, we'll tackle those first, and then we'll open it up to questions about the broader platform as a whole.
Yeah, and before we jump into the goals section, I just wanted to call out one more item on here.
Yeah.
Just to kind of encourage you guys to continue, or to start using the CRM and continue using it throughout your business, because once you do, if you hit that gears module up at the top, Kirk.
Yeah.
Yep. And then we go to the GCI goal item. Right there, we can actually start seeing so whenever we go here next year, we'll be able to see what our goal was for 2018, how we did, and start tracking what we're doing for 2019. So it makes it easier to see what your growths are for each year and where you're wanting to head. So it's really a great tool, and completely understandable why it's one of Kirk's favorites. So yeah, so great functionality and a great way just to keep track of your business.
Perfect.
Okay.
Let's see.
I'll go ahead and read you the questions, Kirk, and if you want to answer, go ahead.
Yeah, of course.
So, let's see here. The first one, Are clients color-coded in the people section?
That is a good question, Monica. Actually, it's a functionality that we are in the process of releasing, is actually some color coding for our contacts. So if we were able to go into the My People section here, you can see how these contact cards actually have a color associated with them. So when we're able to finalize this new release, there will actually be some color coding attached to these contacts. I'm not 100% sure on the exact layout of the color coding, but as soon as I'm able to get it, I can pass that along to you, Monica. Cristin, by chance, do you know the associations with the colors yet?
I don't yet,
Yeah.
but yeah, like you said, we'll get that information to you guys as soon as it's available.
Yeah, it's going to be a cool feature because yeah, all the different contacts will have a color coding based off of their different subsets. So it'll be cool to see.
Cool. And then do we have to be concerned with being blacklisted by Comcast or Yahoo email addresses? And I assume this is when we're sending out items for neighborhood news and campaigns.
So this would be in regards to like doing bulk
Yeah.
emails, correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Yeah, so the way, and this might be, you might be able to handle this one a little bit better,
Yeah,
Cristin. Yeah.
I'll go ahead and take it. Yeah,
Yeah.
so basically, no, you don't have to worry about being blacklisted by these avenues because we are using your email and then we're also using a mass email distribution system that allows us to email multiple people at once. If a client does decide to opt out of any of these items, then yes, your email would then be removed from the system and won't go to that client. But that opt-out functionality is required by law. So there is that, of course.
Yep.
Okay, the next question. Can each client have multiple zip codes or only one?
That's a great question, Scott. Yeah, so each client can have multiple zip codes. So you can see here, actually, this contact is a perfect example of this because you can see we have, let me pull it up here. I'll just add another one so we can show it off here. So you can see here we have this contact is subscribed to 3 different zip codes. So you can have multiple different zip codes as well as the client themselves can edit the zip code if they wanted to change it up as well.
Perfect. And just to be clear on that too, so for each one of these zip codes, they'll receive a separate neighborhood news report. So these are all individual neighborhood news reports. And so what a lot of people do is that they just walk through with their clients that they can actually search on different zip codes right from the original neighborhood news that they receive. Okay, and then the next question is, since the listing is active, will it update if you use it again?
That is a good question. I'm trying to remember what this one was in reference to.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure either. So, Julie, if you could add a little bit more context to that one, we will definitely get back to that question. Okay, the next question is to clarify. So, Monica just was clarifying for you guys too that listings do not display on the neighborhood news. You have to create custom newsletters to display listings. Yeah, so what neighborhood news is doing is we're actually pulling in the actives and sold listings of a specific zip code that's happened over the last 30, 60, and 90 days. And so if you're wanting to advertise your listing, we can use the listing announcement feature within our MoxiWorks, so you can send out one listing, or if you want to use Present, that's a great tool for this, to add multiple listings to send to your customers. You should definitely do it that way as well, or could do it that way. Okay, and then does the closed sale information come from the MLS or from McColly?
So those will come from your MLS.
And then when you have a buyer campaign set up for a client, does it pull the close date from the MLS?
So it'll actually pull from the trigger in Engage. So anytime that you close a transaction in a given contact, that will be the trigger to start that campaign.
Perfect. And then is the contact scoring based on activities?
I might need contact scoring.
Maybe if maybe on the goals. Not sure on that one. Monica, if you could add a little bit more context to that one as well, we could get back to it.
Let's see, what else we got?
Okay, does the neighborhood news have the zip code in the subject line if a client subscribes to more than one zip code? So yes, so when it doesn't have in the subject line, but it does have it in the header of the email. So it's very apparent of what zip code they're looking at.
Perfect. It looks like Julia cleared up. So where was the question? So listing is active. Will update again if you use it again in reference to neighborhood news.
Oh yeah, so that data automatically updates. So every time somebody opens up neighborhood news, it is the data for right then and there. So the actual email won't update, but if they click on the link to see more information, all of that data within that web browser will update.
Gotcha, I see, Monica. Okay, so yeah, she's saying in the current CRM, they're assigned points, so as they add up, their color changes, so it's like more of a warmer lead. No, and our color coding will be based off of like different groups, so like new contacts will have a certain color, I believe is what they're going for. It'll be based off of different
buyers and
groups.
sellers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep, you got it right.
That's a good question, though. And then let's see. So if you have someone set up for 3 neighborhoods, they see 3 emails in their inbox, but they cannot tell the difference without opening. The way I understand that is correct. Yeah. So the zip code itself will be, or they'll be able to see the zip code once they open the email. And I actually might be able to, if you give me a second, I might be able to pull up an example here and I can show you. It'll just take me a second. If you have anything, if there's any other questions coming through, we can answer those while I'm in this build and getting this out.
And then so do any of our competitor brokerages in the area subscribe to your neighborhood news? I'm not really sure on that one. I don't believe so, but yeah, I don't believe that's the case for your area.
Perfect. And I actually pulled over. Let me go ahead and pop this open here. What the neighborhood news email will look like. And it actually looks like, so in my personal email, the zip code actually does kind of fall into the, not the subject line, but in like the brief overview of the email. So you can see here it says your July neighborhood news for 99206. So maybe depending on the email client, they might be able to see the zip code from within the preview, I guess you could say. But this is what the neighborhood newsletter actually will look like when it comes into the client. So you can see the zip code here, you got the month, and you'll have all the information below it. So a nice little clean email, and you got the branding up top too. So we'll have this will be the McColly branding as well as their colors. Perfect. What other questions did we have coming through? Let's see. We didn't have any others coming through. So while we're here, I'll remind you guys that, this help button down here in the bottom right is going to be a great resource for you. That will connect to both our support center, so you can just type through. If there's anything that you're stumped on, you can type, and it'll give you some helpful feedback or helpful tools to assist with answering any questions you might have, as well as connect to our support team.
Oh, and then also Monica's asking if we are able to do a demo of the importing of the contacts. Unfortunately, we're not able to show the link between Google and your system right now, just because we've already synced our account. But it's super simple and easy to do. So basically, when you log in and go to engage, the first thing you'll see is a message that says, do you want to sync your account? And you'll say yes, of course. And then basically within a few minutes, like within less than 5 minutes, your account, depending on the number of contacts, of course, your account will be synced, and all of those contacts that you have in your Gmail will automatically show up in your dashboard. And so if you go to the main dashboard, Kirk.
Yeah.
So you'll see the all people number reflect the same number of contacts that you have in your Gmail. And so that will just signify that all your contacts have moved over and now you can start working with them. So it's super quick and easy.
Yeah, and that's why we always stress that it's important for agents to get in and clean up their contacts before they log into Engage, because it's amazing to be able to log in that first time and sync everyone and not have to go back in and clean everything up again. So if you can clean it up in the actual email contacts, it'll make it a whole lot easier when you upload those or sync those to Engage.
Cool.
Perfect. Well, if you guys had any other questions, let us know. The website, I believe Monica linked it earlier, but it's just engage.mccolly.net is how you guys can log in and play around in the platform. If you have any questions, that help button in the bottom right is great. Or reach out to Monica, or Monica can help ask us if we have any question, or if you have any questions. So we'll be here to help. And yeah, we look forward to getting you guys into Engage. Oh, one last question came through. Will we be able to sync from Gmail accounts that are not McColly.com? Unfortunately, no, you will not be able to. No, it's just the McColly.com email that is synced to Engage.
Perfect.
Yep, perfect. But if you did have contacts from those Gmail accounts that you wanted to sync with Engage, just export those from the Gmail that you have and import them into your McColly.com contact list. That would be the easiest way to do it. Perfect. Well, we appreciate the time today, guys, and have a great rest of your day and have a wonderful weekend. And yeah, thanks for stopping by.